The quaint, quiet, and tranquil streets of Gallipoli, a historic little fishing and trading port in southeast Italy, is about to wake up to a roar as the biggest, baddest skis on water cut it up at the Grand Prix of Italy. The UIM ABP Aquabike World Championship launched its 24th season with round 1 in Gallipoli, where 75 riders from 29 countries battled it out in the Grand Prix of Italy in 4 categories: Ski Division GP1, Ski Ladies GP1, Freestyle, and Runabout GP1. In this program, we cover the Runabout GP1 and Freestyle action from the first Grand Prix of 2018. Situated on the southern tip of Puglia in the province of Lecce, Gallipoli is an idyllic town located on the Salento Peninsula. The old town part of Gallipoli is surrounded by Angiono Castle and connected to the mainland by an arched bridge dating back to the 17th century. The town is an eclectic mix of buildings that date from several different periods, spanning different cultures, all nestled within a maze of narrow streets and capped by the magnificent cathedral in the town center. An ancient fishing port and today a popular tourism destination, Gallipoli has long sandy beaches and some of the best sun, sand, and sea that this part of Italy has to offer. The town is entwined with the sea all year round. Fresh seafood is produced daily, straight out of the water and onto the plate in the many delectable restaurants and eateries that dot the city and draw in visitors looking to enjoy one of the most beautiful corners of the Mediterranean. It's an idyllic place to host the UIM ABP Aquabike World Championship, round 1 of the 2018 season. The Grand Prix of Italy circuit off Gallipoli is a very challenging one, very long yet tight and technical, in very rough and choppy conditions.
Yeah, the track's good, it's big, it makes it nice and safe for the start with the 3 different tracks and with the qualifying splitting the faster guys up from the not so fast guys, so everyone has an equal chance on the start. And with the track being different to the stand-up guys really helps with the speed of the sit-down jet skis getting a little rest on the big back straight. So yeah, it's definitely a good track.
The whole track is really nice, it's wavy, and now you need to be a good rider, not only have a good ski. So it's nice to be here to see who is the good rider.
I don't need recognition, I'm on a mission. I'm paying dues, I'm in position, I'm staying up, it's getting late, you're doing good, I'm doing great.
The Runabout GP1, the blue ribbon event where the fastest and meanest machines are raced by men with nerves of steel amid roaring engines and incredible speeds. This is one of the most awe-inspiring spectacles in marine motorsports.
I was main stage with Tanya at festival realities.
For the 3rd year running, the man to beat in Runabout GP1 will be defending world champion Yusuf Al Abdulrazak of Kuwait. Al Abdulrazak is the most successful runabout rider on the UIM ABP Tour and will be aiming to defend his title and make it 4 on the bounce to take his total world title tally to an unprecedented 5, having won 18 motos and 10 Grand Prix titles since his debut on the UIM ABP Tour in 2012.
I know the future's bright for me.
The new season, we're all excited. We don't know what surprises everyone has for the new season. We are, as usual, ready 100%, and then we can adjust, based on the conditions. It's a bit rough out there, so we're going to see how it goes.
But among his challengers is some very stiff opposition. The 2 main contenders will again be the hard-charging Swede Lars Åkerblom and the always impressive British ace James Bushell, who finished 2nd and 3rd respectively in 2017. Both have beaten Al Abdulrazak and are both proven Moto and GP winners. Aquabike picking up 1 Moto win and 1 GP title and 3 podiums in 2017, while Bushel, in just 2 seasons on the tour, has picked up 4 wins, 2 GP titles and 3 podiums. Both riders are out to win their first UIM ABP World title this season. The dominant triumvirate at the top of Runabout will have some serious contenders for the podium in 2018, not least from one of the most successful and best riders to have never won a world title, Jeremy Perez. The Frenchman has come tantalizingly close to the top step in Runabout for years, only to see it slip from his grasp, but this year he wants to make it his year. Including former Moto and World Slalom winner George Kasha of Hungary, Portugal's technical and talented Christoph Agostinho, the towering Swede Johan Johansson, and 2 newcomers, Guy Greenland of Australia and Anthony Radetic from the USA.
I had to let you go so I could grow and move. When time is of the essence, then it should improve. I had to leave to see what I could do alone. And when I get the money.
First Moto of the year was about to kick off as riders went out on the water for the parade lap to greet the crowds and warm up their engines. Defending and 4-time world champion Yusuf Al Abdulrazak at pole position after setting the fastest lap time in qualifying the day before, with Marcus Jorgensen of Denmark nabbing P2 and James Bushel on P3. Next to him on the beach was Jeremy Perez in 4th and Christoph Agostinho 5th, Roberto Alexander in 6th, Fracasso down in 7th, then George Kasha 8th, and Lars Ackerblom in 9th.
You're doing good. I'm doing
The final seconds before the madness commences, and there they go, 25 riders thundering down that starting straightaway off the beach and headed for the hole shots. Great start from pole sitter Al Abdulrazak with that inside lane advantage as he leads the field into the circuit on the starting lap of this 25-minute plus 1 lap race. The defending world champion leads the field of riders into the alternate parallel course, Al Abdulrazak taking the green track, as do most of the riders behind him. Tight slaloming from Al Abdulrazak, he comes out with lead intact and he's off to a flying start for his 2018 campaign as he begins his bid for an unprecedented 5th world title in the UIM ABP Series. Behind Al Abdulrazak, it's been a torrid start as Jorgensen and Bushel have fallen back, and moving into 2nd position was Georgi Kasha, all the way back from 8th, followed by Christoph Agostinho in 3rd, then Mattia Fracasso moving up to 4th place with Jeremy Perez in 5th, as starting positions go topsy-turvy on this opening lap. Problems for Al Abdulrazak, he bounces off a wave and gets his ignition key knocked out. He's back up and running, and Georgi Kasha has zipped past him. The Hungarian ace, now the race leader, Al Abdulrazak moves back to 2nd position as he tries to catch up while holding off the challenge from Agostinho in 3rd. But Agostinho is in trouble as former world champion Mattia Fracasso of Italy overhauls the Portuguese rider, getting in tight on the inside there, and Fracasso moving up into 3rd position behind Al Abdulrazak. In the alternate course, Al Abdulrazak has to take the penalty black buoy after missing a turn, and that moves both Fracasso and Agostinho past the Kuwaiti and into the top 3, with Roberto Alexander also passing Al Abdulrazak, who is unceremoniously bumped down to 5th as things go south quick for the world champion. Tough break for Marcus Jorgensen, who fell from P2 down to 7th and eventually was out of the race on lap 2. After a determined effort, Al Abdulrazak finally found the space and the pace to pass Alexander on lap 4, the Kuwaiti moving back up a slot into 4th and setting his sights now on re-entering the top 3, but can he catch Agostinho? Another unfortunate breakdown. This time it's last year's world number 3, James Bushel. He had dropped down to 17th after starting P3, and he's out at the halfway mark of the race. Meanwhile, Al Abdulrazak has indeed caught up with Christoph Agostinho, and the Kuwaiti now putting the pressure on the Portuguese rider, but Agostinho is fast as Al Abdulrazak fights for a place in the top 3 on lap 6, ducking and weaving, trying to get through. But the world champion's dogged persistence pays off. What a comeback from Al Abdulrazak as he manages to get past Agostinho and moves up another slot into 3rd. His sights now set on Mattia Fracasso, but Al Abdulrazak has the time and the laps to do it if he can keep this momentum going. Further back, last year's world runner-up Lars Åkerblom is trying to climb his way up the field. The hard-charging Swede struggling in the conditions in the time trials in Moto 1, but he finds his rhythm as he moves up toward the top 5. As Georgi Kasha opens a 30-second lead, looking seemingly unbeatable, Fracasso breaks down and exits the race. A bitter disappointment for the Italian, and that moves Al Abdulrazak back up into second position with Agostinho in third. A big battle now for fourth place as Åkerblom continues his upward surge and takes on Jeremy Perez, the Frenchman in fourth, trying to hold off the aggressive and tenacious Swede. The final lap in this 13-lap race, and it's all Georgi Kasha, the Hungarian, going for his second moto victory in the UIM ABP Series. But Al Abdulrazak has closed that gap, and Kasha cannot make any errors now in these final seconds with a world champion charging from behind. The final alternate course, Kasha in the green track. This could be the last chance for Al Abdulrazak. It's going to be tight as these two slalom experts go at it. But Kasha is too good on the day. A masterful win from the Hungarian, charging out from the back at the start and never looking back. Al Abdulrazak is runner-up. Great result from the Kuwaiti, who dropped to 5th after having the lead, but fought like a champion to claw his way back up and take the runner-up position. But the drama is not over as Jeremy Perez makes a last gasp surge and passes Agostinho at the end to take the checkered flag in third place. The Frenchman kicking his season off with a third place finish in Moto 1. Moto 1 results: Kasha the winner, Al Abdulrazak runner-up, Jeremy Perez third, Agostinho fourth, then Lars Åkerblom fifth ahead of Johan Johansson in sixth. Roberto Alexander holds on for seventh, followed by Markus Schick of Austria, and another Hungarian, Szekes Scholt, in ninth, with Italian veteran Lorenzo Benaglia completing the top 10.
I think I a little bit lucky because after the nice hole shot, Youssef he stopped front of me, so I passed him, and after nobody pushed me, so like easy moto. But I enjoy because long time I'm not racing on the ocean, so I'm really happy now.
We caught up with UIM ABP newcomer Anthony Radotic to hear his unique and inspiring story.
So in 2004, while I was stationed in Fort Rucker, I got into a bad motor vehicle accident, and I ended up getting paralyzed from that. And I had to find something that was exciting in life to do. And being a helicopter pilot in the Army, it was really hard to find something that would keep my adrenaline up and still be, I guess, an alpha male. I got introduced to jet ski racing, watercraft racing, and I got immediately hooked. I did my first race in Long Beach to Catalina. So I did that first race, and I was inspired. I got picked up by other companies to come race with them, and ended up doing a couple of races in Florida, and I just love it. It's giving me that drive, that goal in life to maintain living and use up every minute I have to the fullest. And being out in the water, you know, I'm disabled. I have to have a lot of help doing different things out on land, but being on water, I felt like that's a great equalizer. And you know, the only difference is I can't stand up on the ski. But besides that, I can race with them as long as I hold on. I'm good to go. There's no limit out there. You know, a lot of things can happen each day, but as long as you continue driving, you set a goal out there. I don't think anyone can be stopped. You know, you might find a different path, but find enjoyment in whatever you do. That's the way I look at it.
It ain't no big deal. It ain't no big deal.
One of the most popular and awe-inspiring categories in the world of aquabike is no doubt the freestyle, where riders produce an array of gravity-defying aerial acrobatics that demand extreme skill and strength. The man with a target on his back in the freestyle will no doubt be the immaculate Rashid Al Mullah of the UAE. The Emirati ace has notched up 10 moto wins and won 3 Grand Prix titles on the UIM ABP circuit. With the absence of the Floriancic brothers, he's a favorite here at the Grand Prix of Italy and for the world title in 2018. Going up against Rashid Al Mullah will be a handful of talented riders led by 2017 European champion and current world #1 ranked rider Roberto Mariani of Italy, a longtime freestyle maestro and veteran who knows how to put on a show. Mariani's Italian countryman Alberto Camerlengo will also be expected to fight for a podium spot here in home waters as these two charismatic Italian riders get some crowd support behind them. Making a first ever appearance on the UIM ABP Tour will be Portuguese rider Paulo Miguel Pereira Nunes, and the fifth man participating at the Grand Prix of Italy in Gallipoli will be Alexander Kuramshin of Russia.
It ain't no big deal about the way I feel when I'm behind the wheel, hot on my wheels of steel. It ain't no big deal.
Russian freestyle Alexander Kuramshin went out to a warm welcome in Moto 1 and 2 in Gallipoli, producing a good routine with a well-executed series of backflips and some 360 barrel roll and backflip combos.
Behind the wheel. Get gone. Oh, have to get it.
Portuguese rider Paulo Miguel Pereira Nunes was also solid out there, very good in terms of flow and dynamism, producing a busy routine that went flat out for a full 3 minutes. Good debut performance from Nunes.
Big deal. It ain't no big deal.
On to the first of the local favorites, Alberto Camerlengo, getting that crowd support behind him to produce a very nice couple of motos, lots of power, good diversity of tricks, and the crowd was pleased.
Let the rubber squeal when I'm behind the wheel.
Camerlengo was followed by another Italian, European champion and world rankings leader Roberto Mariani. The veteran from Rome has been a tower of consistency throughout his long career, and he always knows how to fire the crowd up and get them on his side.
It's just the way I feel. Yeah, I'd skip a meal to stay behind.
Produced a flurry of tricks, combos, and series to challenge the field for the title in Gallipoli, although it all ended with a little mishap at the end where he lost control of his ski, which then went racing off into some nearby rocks.
It's just the way I feel, cause I feel unreal when I'm behind the wheel.
He still ended with a standing ovation. There was still one man to come, Rashid Al Mullah. Al Mullah has won 7 motos in a row that he's entered and 3 Grand Prix. He was the clear favorite here in Gallipoli, and he showed why. Just look at the power and air he's getting out of that ski. Impressive stuff. He's doing tricks others can only dream of. It was time to sit back and watch the maestro do his thing.
I must reveal, it's just so ideal when I'm behind the wheel.
It was a rousing performance, leaving everybody spellbound, and that clinched him 2 more motos to continue his unbeaten series, easily earning him his 4th Grand Prix title in Gallipoli with a maximum 50 points from both motos. Runner-up in round 1 is Roberto Mariani, and the second Italian on the podium is Alberto Camerlengo, ahead of Paulo Miguel Pereira Nunes 4th and Alexander Kuramshin 5th.
I feel good, but we have a small problem. We have to keep fixing and we keep the ski good until we get the result.
I feel when I'm behind the wheel. Get gone.
Rashid Al Mullah kicks off his 2018 campaign with a bang as he bids for a first ever UIM ABP world title.
Needs to get gone. It ain't no big deal.
Runabout GP1 Moto 2, where Moto 1 winner Georgi Kasha would start on pole position off the beach as he tries to hold off Al Abdul Razak and Jeremy Perez to his right. As the parade lap got underway, there were a raft of riders vying for the Grand Prix of Italy title. With the conditions a great equalizer, Moto 2 was anyone's for the taking. The pressure was on as crowds gathered in Old Gallipoli town to watch the action and see who would win the first Grand Prix title of the year. The final countdown, and they're away! A cloud of spray rises off the sea as 23 riders thunder off the beach, with Georgi Kasha on the inside lane leading the field to the hole shots and into the circuit. But Yusuf Al Abdulrazak pulls away from Kasha and pushes for the lead on the opening straightaway as Kasha falls back. Next to Al Abdulrazak in second position is Christoph Agostinho. The Portuguese rider is fast and furious on the start. Kasha bumped down to third, trying to keep up with the field as it enters the circuit, and world champion Al Abdulrazak leads them through to the open blue waters and into the alternate parallel course. In the opening lap, it's Al Abdulrazak, then Agostinho in second position, followed by Georgi Kasha. Then in fourth spot, it's Spaniard Roberto Alexander, followed by Jeremy Perez in fifth as the course gets choppier and conditions get rougher. Trouble for Roberto Alexander, a spectacular high side coming into the start-finish line at the end of lap 1, knocks him off his ski and puts his Moto2 run in jeopardy as he drops back down the field, but he's at least able to resume the race. And just look at that lead that Yusuf Al Abdulrazak has opened up. What a display here from the world champion. His Moto1 campaign took a hit from a big wave that cost him the early lead, even though he still managed to climb back up to finish runner-up. In Moto2, he is just going all out, racing with a vengeance, focused and determined as Agostinho finds himself 20 seconds behind the runaway leader. Further back, there's a big three-way battle unfolding for 7th place between Jan Jensen of Denmark, his countryman Marcus Jorgensen, and Markus Schick of Austria, with Jorgensen climbing up from the back of the field after having started back in 23rd position, and he's already up in 8th, just a lap in, as he overhauls Schick and gives chase to Jan Jensen. Into the alternate split course now, Georgi Kasha in third position as he opts for the blue track in a bid to slalom his way past Agostinho, who's in the green. The Hungarian is a slalom maestro, a former UIM ABP World Slalom Champion, and this is going to be tight. They come out of the alternate course, past the separator buoy, it's close, but Agostinho just manages to fend off the Hungarian challenge. Agostinho still in second position, and Kasha right on his tail, breathing down his neck in third, with Jeremy Perez right behind them in fourth. Perez moves up and challenges Kasha for third position as they come around the bottom bend. Kasha on the outside, Perez has the speed, and Perez tucks in tight on the inside to pass Kasha. Jeremy Perez moves up into third, bumping the Hungarian down to fourth. Great racing from the experienced Frenchman and former world number 2, who's currently second in the world rankings behind Al Abdulrazak. But Jeremy Perez is not satisfied with third. He's on a roll, using that incredible speed and momentum to catch up with Agostinho, as a Frenchman also overhauls Agostinho to move up into second position. Oh no, Kasha's woes continue as his ski breaks down. The Moto1 winner raises his hand, and that would be the end of his race. Kasha's exit moves Marcus Jorgensen into fourth in what has been the most remarkable performance so far in Moto2, the Dane moving up from 23rd to skith his way through the field, passing 19 riders. But he doesn't stop there, as he also passes Christoph Agostinho to move into third position. Agostinho bumped down to fourth behind Al Abdulrazak, Perez, and Jorgensen. Another Scandinavian, Lars Åkerblom, has also quietly and smoothly moved up through the field to position himself in fourth behind Jorgensen as Christoph Agostinho continued to drop down the field. The man of the race and the Grand Prix is Yusuf Al Abdulrazak. The Kuwaiti completes a comfortable Moto2, never looking back after taking the lead on that initial starting straightaway, never challenged throughout the race, and that earns him the Grand Prix of Italy title. A well-earned 25 points for him to cap off a brilliant race. But the performances behind him were equally impressive. Jeremy Perez moving up to finish second, Marcus Jorgensen coming up from 23rd to finish third, and then Åkerblom also moving up and racing consistently to come in fourth. Great result from Russian Alexander Kabatov finishing fifth, with Johan Johansson once again sixth in a repeat of his Moto1 result. Markus Schick seventh, and James Bushell also moves up from the back to salvage a decent 8th place finish ahead of Andrei Wisniewski and Roberto Alexander.
It was amazing. I just had a little slow start, but in the whole shot, Kaza I think he had mechanical. So after that, I tried to concentrate and stay in a good pace, and it worked for me.
The overall Grand Prix result sees Al Abdulrazak on the top step, Perez Grand Prix of Italy runner-up, Georgi Kasha with a Moto 1 win, enough to earn him third place. In the world standings, it's Al Abdulrazak on top going into round 2 in Olbia. That brings to an end a whirlwind opening round for the UIM ABP Aquabike World Championship from Gallipoli, Italy. See you round 2 at the Grand Prix of the Mediterranean in Olbia, Sardinia.